time against Denver and a rookie quarterback. I thought this was a terrible spot for the Denver Broncos. Instead, it looked like the Jets didn't practice. It's time to recalibrate the Jets. They've played 4 games. They've been really good in one of them. The worst team in the league, New England, that was on a short week. They didn't play well against Tennessee. They got a Will Levis break. They got housed by the Niners, beat by Denver. Like, this team recalibrated. 4 games, 1 really good one. They are not a well-coached team. 13 penalties, cadence issues with veteran offensive linemen. Breece Hall, where'd he go? What happened to him? So Alan Lazard screwed up a drive with an idiotic penalty, had to settle for a field goal. That was Aaron's guy. We know Aaron seeks comfort, right? That was his guy. And Nat Hackett, that was his guy. Come on, this offense is just not good enough. Now, I will say Patrick Surtain, put him on Garrett Wilson, slows him down. We talked about that last week. You know, there's about 3 stop corners in the league, lockdown guys. Denver's got 1, so that was going to be a tough week for Garrett Wilson. But it was the penalties, Alan Lazard, veteran offensive lineman, cadence issues. This is not a well-coached team. And this has been the year of the underdog. Believe me, my picks Friday, it's been the year of the underdog. But that was a game you can't lose. The Jets, with Aaron Rodgers, a veteran O-line, had extra time to prepare for a Denver team that decided, let's just stay out east. It'll give us the only chance to win. And it was ugly. And I'm not blaming Aaron, but, you know, Aaron likes to be alone. He doesn't, like to be the only guy. And it felt like Aaron running around and scrambling and making up time with his feet. I'll give Aaron Rodgers credit. He wasn't very accurate. He didn't play particularly well. I don't know how to describe the cadence issues. That guy was running for his life. The 2 things we worried about with this team were Aaron Rodgers' health. Sacked 5 times, 14 hits. That is not the recipe. Games like the Jets season can't look like that. Aaron cannot take that beating. He did a great job to be active, to move his feet. He was scrambling. Give Aaron a ton of credit. But he wanted this offensive coordinator. This was his choice, and he wanted Alan Lazard, and they're not doing him favors. So the 2 things we worried about were Aaron's health. That didn't look good yesterday. And we worried about prickly Aaron, Robert Saleh in Green Bay. You have more veteran coaches, less chaos. We worried about Saleh and Aaron Rodgers. And after that awful performance at home against a rookie quarterback who threw for 60 yards, here was the coach and Aaron after.
We got to figure it out. Whether or not we're good enough to handle all the or ready to handle all the cadence. Cadence had not been an issue all camp. Felt like our operation had been operating pretty good. Obviously, today it took us a major step back.
The cadence specifically, Robert said that might be something you guys have to dial back a little bit. Is that something you think could potentially help the situation?
It's one way to do it. The other way is hold them accountable. I mean, we haven't had an issue. We've had 1 false start. Morgan had 1 false start, I believe, until this. So, it's been a weapon. We use it every day in practice. We don't, we rarely have a false start. And to have, 5 today, it seemed like, 4 or 5. Yeah, it seems like an outlier. I don't know if we need to make mass changes.
Once again, feels like a little pettiness, a little anger. Hey, listen, I'm not blaming Aaron. We know he likes to be alone. He can't do it alone. I'm not blaming Aaron. And I do not run team. But last week, we were talking, oh, my God, ticker tape gets no, this is still a poorly coached, poorly owned team with an offensive line that's in flux. That's what it looked like. And a team you can't trust in big spots. And by the way, I'll tell you why that game was so important, and everybody in New York knows why it's important. The next 3 games are the hottest team in the league, the Vikings. The Bills are in a bad mood now. And the Steelers, who can't score but have a great defense. Good luck with your O-line against that Steelers defense. So we looked at this schedule and we thought, man, you talk about 3 layups. You barely get by Tennessee. You lose to Denver. Now comes some really interesting matchups because the end of the season can get real dicey. But these were supposed to be layups, 4 games, 1 good performance, and everybody's looked good. I mean, the Niners yesterday, what was that against the Patriots? Was that a scrimmage? It didn't even look like a game. It was more of a scrimmage. So not good. J-Mac, I know you're freaking out. Now, the good news is New York fans mostly don't have to watch it in person against Minnesota. It's over in London. So, a 34-10 loss, you could just, mow the lawn and you don't have to go to the game or anything.
All right. Let's settle down a little bit. First of all, no freaking out here. It was a bad loss. I think if there's anything to freak out about, it's Rodgers versus Salah. Colin, they're not on the same page. And this dates back to the whole Egypt thing, remember? Where Salah opened his mouth, said something silly, and Rodgers pushed back. And I don't know. I'd like to get those two in a room in front of the media and hash this out because otherwise this could fester all season and ruin it for the Jets.
We talked about this last week. It's so funny. So it's really fun when Aaron's in a good mood off a win. He looks good. He's happy. But we said Friday, he gets dark very quickly. Aaron gets dark very quickly. Look at him on that podium. If I couldn't hear the sound, he looks pissed. Aaron's interesting. Like a lot of quarterback, Tom Brady, if you turn the sound down, win or lose, I never knew. Peyton Manning didn't know. Like there's a lot of quarterbacks, Lamar's facial expression, his body language, Aaron literally looks like a different person when he's in a bad mood. So that's what I see. What do you think it's like in real time in person? So like Aaron stepped to that podium yesterday. You don't even have to just look at the body language, look at the face, and he's always done this. Aaron is split personality. When things are good, he's charismatic, he's funny, he's a great guest, he's amazing. That dude goes dark really fast, and he tends to passive-aggressively turn on people. That's what that felt like to me. That felt like, oh, is that what the coach says? Or you could hold people accountable.
Well, listen, they had 13 penalties. I read Run Report said 10 of them were against the offense. So to defend Salah, a lot of screw-ups. I mean, at home, I know it was in the rain, but Denver played in the rain too yesterday, right? Okay. Yeah.
Bo Nix threw for 60 yards on the road and beat Aaron Rodgers. That can't happen.
I'm on to Minnesota.
Okay.
Let's just get to next.
By the way, that wasn't the worst performance of the weekend. I saw something yesterday to me. People love athletic quarterbacks, except Lamar Jackson, and he's the best at it. I mean, Johnny Manziel comes out. I was assured, I didn't buy it, but he'd be great. And I have defended Kyler Murray, but he's tiny and regressing and hard to coach. And then I was told Justin Fields and Anthony Richardson, and it's like, I know what it looks like when it's great. And what it looks like when it's great is Lamar Jackson, who, because of his work ethic and his passion, has become the soul of the city, the soul of the franchise. Lamar Jackson's unbelievable. He's the greatest all-time running talent, and now Baltimore finally got him a star back who's healthy, really nice receivers, Mark Andrews tight end, and this is what it looks like. Think about Buffalo. A week ago, we thought Buffalo was the best team in the world. They gave up last night. They quit. They couldn't stop him. 9 yards of play in the first half. This is a guy that is 21-1 against the NFC. And Chris Collinsworth pointed this out. There's no way to prepare for Lamar Jackson. Your best bet is to be Cleveland, Cincinnati, or the Steelers. You see him a couple times a year, and you kind of understand the game speed and his ability. Those teams have a much better shot. Not even Mahomes dominates a conference like Lamar Jackson does. He's 21-1 against the NFC. Because if you don't see him frequently or never, I mean, he humiliated an excellent Detroit team last year. He humiliated San Francisco. So no star quarterback in this sport, it's weird, has more critics. But y'all tell me you love the athletic quarterbacks. I like my quarterbacks to be athletic, but I don't even know if you can use that term for Lamar, because when I watch him, if you gave me one quarterback and one team to watch every week, half the time it would be Lamar Jackson. And what we try to do is, and this is the way it works, we've all had a boss like this. We all know this is true. Everybody tries to define you and jam you into a box. Like Jamie Foxx goes to Hollywood. He can dance, he can sing, he can act, he can do game shows, he's funny, he can do anything. Don't put him in a box. He can do anything. Lamar Jackson has a passer ready